And to everyone listening who knows a mum, is a mum, freaking give yourself a pat on the back. You're a superhero, and give them a hug and tell them they're incredible. Because being a mum is hard, and society doesn't give enough credit because everyone does it. Everyone's a mum. Everyone goes through this. It's easy. It's normal. It's not. It's hard, especially in modern times. You go back a few generations, the village literally brought up children. And now we're in isolation in little boxes with one other person expected to just bring the child up exactly the same.
Hey, adventurer! I'm Bridget Hallam from Throw Your Leg Over, and today I am very, very thrilled to be chatting with Vanessa Ruck. You might know Vanessa as the girl on a bike. Vanessa is a motorcycle racer, adventurer, rally driver, content creator, motivational speaker, presenter, and a mum. Hey, Vanessa!
Hey, I'm so love that you added mum at the end because that is like more of a job than all of the rest of it.
Now, you came to motorcycles in, I would say, a very unusual way via a serious bicycle accident. Would you mind sharing that story briefly with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So prior to 2014, I was definitely an adrenaline junkie. I lived for extreme sports, being fit, being out there. I worked a 9 till 5 that was never just 9 till 5, office job, career driven. And when I wasn't in the office, I was doing everything I could to make the most of life physically, sports, adventure, outdoors, holidays, etc. Kite surfing was my biggest love, chasing the wind. And then, yeah, a really standard Tuesday, I was on my bicycle. I was cycling on the way to the wakeboarding lake from work, and a car coming the other way decided not to stop at their red light. And that was my life changed irreversibly in a single moment. I had a 7 year recovery with 7 surgeries, and I've now got a reconstructed right shoulder and right hip. I wasn't scraped up by paramedics or anything graphic at the time. I did go to hospital in an ambulance, but I was diagnosed with bruising. So there was a real battle and a fight with the medical system to try and get myself back to a point where I always wanted the goal of trying to get back to being pain free. I've had to readjust my expectations, and for my home, for my body, that's not realistic at the moment. And so I manage a very grumpy, unhappy hip that I have to deal with every day. And my shoulder, I'm really proud of. I've got that back very solid. It's really good. Yeah, it was a dramatic recovery physically. I had to learn how to walk again 5 times after 5 different hip surgeries and unbelievable amounts of rehabilitation, physio, walking in the swimming pool, all that kind of stuff. But the mental health recovery was actually far worse. I was diagnosed with all kinds of things, including depression, fear of the road, doesn't really lend to getting your first motorbike. Change disorder, didn't even see myself as me. I talked about myself in the third person because, Vanessa was a strong, fit person. And that wasn't me. I couldn't even relate to my own body. And I kind of talk about it relatively lightly now. It's taken me a lot of time and healing to get to the point where I am able to talk about it so easily. But I can't overemphasize how challenging and how dark the world can go. And I reached a point where I was in a really scary place. The world was dark, and I realized that I needed help. And I'm very proud of myself for realizing that and for having the strength to ask for it. So I think for anyone listening who's struggling with anything, it's so important. No matter how small or insignificant it feels in your head, ask for help because there's always help out there. It might not be from your partner or your family or a friend, it could be from an unknown person through a charity organization or something, but just ask for help. I had a lot of support and counseling over many years, and eventually I got to a point where I didn't learn to love my body, but I learned to accept it. And that was so important because without the acceptance of your situation, it's nigh impossible to do what you need to do to move forwards. And to overcome it, you end up just being a victim of your scenario and blaming things on other people, and that doesn't help you get out of anything. Now, the motorbikes, yeah, it wasn't like I woke up one day and went, right, in 2024, I want to do the original Dakar, having never ridden a motorbike, off road. So it was very much a stepping stone and a gradual moving myself outside my comfort zone and goal setting. And every time I set a goal and I achieved it, I was like, oh, maybe I should do something else. And it initially started with the fact that I used to commute to work. And with my injuries, I could no longer commute to work on a bicycle. So I was struggling with traffic, parking, the cost of fuel, trying to get into the office at a reasonable time when it should be a 20-minute drive, but rush hour makes it an hour and 40 minutes. Unbelievable traffic. So I came up with the idea that I should get a motorbike. And so the stars kind of aligned. There was a little Suzuki Bandit 600 in my town for a reasonable price, secondhand. And so I went to see it the next day, got the kit. I then had to ride it. That was the bigger challenge. And I can't overemphasize how terrifying that was, how many times I've had tears and breakdowns in my helmet and upsets. And I don't know if you've ever cried in a motorbike helmet, but it's not really that fun because one, you've got like big gloves on, you can't really get in there, and then you've got like this visor and mask, and you're like trying to wipe it, and then you've got some water in there which then steams up, and then you can't see. It's a bit of a mess. Now I can joke about it now, but it was a lot of determination to ride that bike. And then what no one warned me about with motorbikes, they should have come with a warning tag, honestly, is that they breed. You have one motorbike, and then you suddenly want another motorbike, and then that motorbike breeds, and then you want another one, and there's now 9 in the garage. And they all do slightly different things. The off-road is another slight story because, I mean, realistically, if you spoke to my mum, she really wasn't pleased about the idea of me getting a motorbike. I'd just sort of been hit by a car, really dramatically injured, surgeries, mental health. Oh, and now you want to get on a motorbike? There was a lot of determination not to be labeled. And once I was labeled, to be like, that's not permanent. I'm going to overcome this and I'm going to take back control. And I'm not going to be told that I can't do things. This is my life and I'm going to fight. And I fought so hard with my physio to prove them wrong, prove the medical guys wrong, to prove my people around me wrong. And also, I was no way ready to accept a life of sitting in a duvet and watching Netflix, crying and feeling sorry for myself. I wanted to get out there and get the adrenaline going. And I woke up in the morning and I rolled over to my husband and I was like, I didn't really roll, I kind of turned awkwardly. And I was like, can I get a dirt bike? He was like, what? Like, look at you. You can't even go on the toilet on your own. I was like, I know, but I really want a dirt bike. And yeah, we went out and got me my first bike. It was Whiz. It was a WR250 and it was 5 months until I could even sit on it.
So, Vanessa, this leads beautifully into my next question. You have competed in like some serious desert rallies. You've even been rescued by a helicopter. I saw you speaking at the Adventure Bike Rider Festival in England one year, and there was something that you said that really struck me. I can't remember which event it was, but it was really difficult. And you said that you had nightmares afterwards for weeks. And at this point, most of us would say, well, I'm not ever doing that ever again. That's it. But you didn't. You did the opposite. Like, you keep going, even when it's scary. How do you keep your mind strong?
So the Tunisia Desert Challenge is the one you're referring to. If you go to my YouTube channel, which is The Girl on a Bike, Vanessa Ruck, you'll find it on there. And there's a Tunisia series. It's pretty gripping. I nearly didn't come home from that race. Now, for anyone wondering what these races are, this is extreme desert racing. So similar to the famous Paris-Dakar, you're following paper navigation, doing anywhere up to 500-700 kilometers a day in the desert on your own, off-road, on big rally bikes, sand, rocks, riverbeds, dunes, everything, all on your own. And I had a couple of mechanicals on that rally, which led me to be stranded. And your body doesn't fare well in 48 degrees heat with no shade very well. So I'm very grateful to the medics and the helicopters that got me out of there, but it was very scary. I had nightmares for weeks after that of being stuck in the desert. And actually, after my second rescue, I was in bed and I woke up to a massive night terror about being stuck in the desert again. And I was due to go out racing the next day. You know, when you wake up at night and your heart is going, you're sweaty, you're adrenaline, it takes you so long to get back to sleep and calm back down. During that calm down period, I was like, that's it. I've bitten off more than I can chew. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I've obviously not trained hard enough. I'm not right. I know there were mechanicals on the bike, but I don't think I can mentally handle being stuck in the desert again on my own. It's just terrifying. And I managed to finally get myself back to sleep. My alarm went off in the morning. I woke up. Where's my bike? Back on the start line. And off I went. And I finished the event. I think one of the things that I'm very stubborn about is that when I tell myself that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to disappoint myself because I know how damaging the mental self hate you can get of letting yourself down is. And I know how high the feeling of doing it and the achievement and the adrenaline, the endorphins is that you get when you do it. So if you think about the cost balance of doing it versus not doing it ends up with so much negative self-hate, blame, you're pathetic, why didn't you even fight, you could have done this, you should have done that, why didn't you were just being lazy or whatever, versus the holy smokes, I did it, like I made the finish line, oh my god, that was the hardest thing I did, now I feel so strong, like I've done that, what can I do now? Like a really random example, before the Tunisia Desert Challenge, I could not be home alone on my own in our house. We live in the country. We don't really have neighbours. I was terrified. If my husband was going to be away, I'd have to borrow my parents' dogs. I'd be turning all the lights on, shutting the curtains, locking the doors before it got dark. Couldn't be home alone. Having been stuck in the dunes for 7.5 hours in the pitch black in the middle of Tunisia, hundreds of kilometres from anyone on my own, I can now even go for a run in the woods on my own. It doesn't even faze me being home alone. And everything is so much about perspective. And it's amazing how when you do put yourself into a scary position, you grow and your line of scariness shifts. And it's all about shifting our perspective. Now, how do I stay strong and keep going? I think that's from goal setting. And I'm very good at setting a goal and locking onto it like a stubborn donkey with a carrot on a stick. The important thing, though, is that your goals are something that you want to achieve. There is absolutely no point your husband, your wife, your partner, your brother telling you a goal. You will never achieve it if it's their goal for you. If someone turns around to me and says, I need to get fitter, whatever. I really don't care what you think my goal should be. But if I decide, you know what, I'm going to do that race, and if I want to finish it, I need to be fitter. And if I'm not fitter, I have got no chance in that race. Suddenly, the getting fit has a really good purpose and a drive. Or I want to get better skilled on a bike. When I signed up to do Red Bull Romaniacs, I didn't even have the bike. I didn't have the right equip. And my goodness, I did not have the skill to even begin to do that event. But I had a year to train. And that year of a ticking like clock winding down was the motivation at the weekend to be like, you need to get out on the bike. You need to do something because Romaniacs is coming. And you're going to feel like a right fool if you don't do something, and you're probably going to die.
So I'm hearing a few things there. Like what you're saying is just so, it's gold. I'm hearing really listen to yourself and what you want. I'm hearing be a bit comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Definitely.
And a goal, even if you've got no clue how you're going to get there, Like set the goal and then figure out how you're going to get there. You don't have to have all the answers at the beginning.
Like a thought in your head is a dream. Goal written down on paper or something locked in is a roadmap. If you just constantly think about it, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that tomorrow, it never happens, it never comes. And you end up getting to 30, 40, 60, 70, being like, I've still never done that road trip. Or I've still never gone and bought that bike or eaten that food or tried to cook that cake or lost that bit of weight or whatever it is. But when you set a goal and give yourself a deadline, it's amazing how much motivation it brings. The next step to that is to tell people about it because then you've got accountability of the fact that you said you're going to do something too, which is the next step of power.
Yes, and I think too, it's different for yourself when you think something and when you actually say it out loud and hear yourself saying it. It becomes real.
Write it on a piece of paper and put it on the fridge. Like in my bedroom, on my mirror at home, I have my 10 big life goals that I have at the moment. Some of them are like 30-year goals, and some of them are short-term goals. But I've got a Sharpie and I've just written them on the wardrobe mirror. And so every day I see them multiple times, just as a reminder.
I love that. Oh, I'm going to steal that. Now, now you are a mum to Skylar, little Skylar, who we see having adventures with you, but I'm sure that has dramatically changed your life, becoming a mum. What's changed and what has stayed the same?
Before I even begin to answer the question, I don't think society pre-warns women enough on what having a child actually means. And I don't think society acknowledges how incredible mums are and how different it is for a mum to a dad. I'm not saying that life doesn't change for a dad, but for a female, we pretty much have to give up everything. Like our body becomes the growth of another human, and it's not for 9 months. I'm still breastfeeding at 15 months. I know that's my choice, and some people don't breastfeed at all. Some people breastfeed for 3 months or whatever it is. It's very personal, but for me, it's nature. And I know the World Health Organization recommends it till a minimum of 2. So I'm doing that. So my body is burning, I think it's up to 1,000 calories a day just feeding Skylar on top of life. It's a huge drain. You then add sleep deprivation, where some nights she'll wake me up 20 times, even still. She's been really good this week. She's had her 11th and 12th tooth come out, and she's suddenly gone into a nice space. So I think for 6 nights, she's only woke me up 4 times in the night. It's been like amazing, the best sleeping night. So my risk appetite has changed. That's something I've noticed on the motorbike. I was in with Dust Devils in Spain when she was 4.5 months old, and there was this big rock step face thing that Vanessa, prior to being a mum, would have just gone, cool, let's give it a go. And I honestly think I would have made it up. It was hard, but within my capability for sure. And I looked at it and went, I've got nothing to prove. I don't even need to try it, because if I fall off right now and I break my arm or damage myself, I don't know how I'm going to look after little Skylar. So I didn't even try it. And I was really proud of myself. Now, some people might think, oh, well, that's a bit pathetic. You've stopped wanting to push the risks. And I'm like, no, that's nature's way of preserving me, because that little girl needs me. And I'm totally okay with that. Traveling life is incredibly difficult. She's been to, I think, 15 countries now. I took her skiing at 11 weeks and I did Nordic skiing with her on my chest. She's been to the Royal Enfield Festival in India. She's been on road trips around Morocco. She's a little adventurer, and it is hard work. I cannot downplay how exhausting it is traveling with a little one, and also doing what I do, filming, responding to comments, creating content. I think some people think, oh, all you do is post stuff to social media. There is so much background work behind every post, every image, every story, every clip, and also the business side of actually making the opportunity happen. And I'm doing that, juggling her as a full-time mum. She does do a couple of hours of nursery a week, which gives me, I think, about 4 hours a week on my laptop. The rest of the time, I'm just juggling it every time she naps. I'm choosing probably to make my life a lot more exhausting than it could be, but I am so passionate that I want to show that little girl the world. And I want to show her that you can chase your dreams and keep doing what you're passionate about and pushing boundaries and be a mum. And I want her to have that same energy. Already, I can see so much of me in her. Like, she climbs on top of tables, she's jumping on ponies. Like 2 days ago, I woke up in the morning and I was like, I feel like jumping out an aeroplane today. And so 11:30, I booked on for a skydive, and at 1:45, I was on an aeroplane and I did my sixth skydive jump. But I want her to have that kind of impulsive energy and love for life. And if I don't do it in front of her, she won't get it. Little kids learn by seeing. I've always been a try, especially since my accident, a get up and make the most of every day, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring person. But I think the most magical thing about motherhood is that it's turbocharged that energy. Even though I'm running on absolute flat out exhaustion, I will do everything to make her days excitement and show her that energy. And it doesn't matter if you're tired, you get up and you do it.
You know, Vanessa, I think she's very lucky to have you as her mum. I think that's amazing that you're doing it this way. I think she's going to grow up to be an amazing young woman. So hang in there.
I hope so, because I have so many moments, and starting to cry now,
Oh,
where I doubt myself and I doubt my ability as a mum, or whether I'm giving her the best thing. And she's the happiest little thing. And I've just got to keep remembering that she's just happy. So I must be doing something right. But that self-doubt is just horrible.
yes.
It's every area of life. I think people look at me and think, oh, you're so strong and capable. And I'm like, I'm just a normal human like everybody else. Maybe I'm blagging it a little bit better, but I still doubt myself and question it. And oh, sorry, I'm getting upset.
I think it's very normal. It's very normal, and I would say I don't know if I said sorry. I'll edit this bit out if you want, but
No,
I don't know if I said this to you when we were at ABR last year. But that self doubt stays with you until probably 20 years later or something, when there'll be this little moment where you'll look at your child and go, "Oh, they turned out okay." It's normal. It's so normal.
and to everyone listening who knows a mum, is a mum, freaking give yourself a pat on the back. You're a superhero, and give them a hug and tell them they're incredible, because being a mum is hard, and society doesn't give enough credit, because everyone does it. Everyone's a mum. Everyone goes through this. It's easy. It's normal. It's not. It's hard, especially in modern times. You go back a few generations, the village literally brought up children. And now we're in isolation in little boxes with one other person expected to just bring the child up exactly the same. And I think times are beginning to recognize that. We're expected to work and be mums and do all this stuff. And yeah, anyway, I'm having a little bit of rant. Give any mum you know or yourself a big hug.
Yes, I concur. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do, probably the hardest thing you will ever do, but also the most rewarding thing that you will ever do. But it's a tough gig. Yeah.
That little smile, the way her little hand will. Oh, there's a million moments in every day that make it worth it. Nature's very good at oxytocin.
Yes. Vanessa, what's your one tip that you would share with our wonderful listener if she's thinking about having an adventure? There's something that maybe she wants to do, but it just feels a bit huge.
Just go and do it. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. You can do it. All the people out there doing these things, me, you, everybody, we are normal humans. The difference is we've set goals and we work towards them. If you don't feel like you know what you need to know, then go and upskill yourself. If you don't think you've got the right equipment, do some research and find the right equipment. If you don't think you've got the right bike, change your bike. If you don't think you've got enough skill on your bike, do some practice, do some training, go to the back of the Tesco car park and ride around and do slow maneuvering. There's loads of videos on my channel on tips for improving your riding. Upskill yourself. And if you're thinking about doing that adventure, freaking find a date and put it in the calendar and go and do it. Just believe in yourself because honestly, you are capable and you can do it. Things that are scary are worth doing because you will do it, love it, and wonder why you didn't do it sooner. And then the thing that's scary will move slightly and it'll make it easier to do more and more and more. Just believe in yourself. Do it.
I love it. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I love hearing your stories. I love hearing about your courage. I love how you are so supportive and encouraging of women and everyone to do amazing things that they want to do. So thank you. And if our listener would love to follow you, how does she find you?
I mean, I'm everywhere, so be warned. I'm on all of the social platforms. If you look up The Girl on a Bike or Vanessa Ruck, you'll find me. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, although I feel like a granny over there, LinkedIn. I do a weekly video on YouTube, and my YouTube has, I think there's more than 500 videos on there. There's 1,000 different videos, topics, inventions, tips, how-tos, and so much sort of my goal is to try and share some of the stuff that I've learned along the way. I've ridden in 35 different countries now. I've done some of the toughest endurance races in the motorcycle world, including the original Dakar, Red Bull Romaniacs. And so it's about me trying to share knowledge, maybe give a little bit of entertainment and, pass on some fun. And my inbox is always open. I am a lot slower at responding to stuff right now because I'm juggling Skylar, but I do try and get through my inbox, and I love to hear from people. And really, my goal is to try and help encourage you lot to get up and go do something, go have some fun.
Wonderful. I will put all the links to all of those places in the show notes so people can find you. And thank you, Vanessa. Sending you a big hug, and Skylar a little hug. And thank you again.
Thanks so much for having me on.